Richard Crouse.
I wanted to talk about the character you play, about Kim Fowley. Were you familiar with him before this script came across your desk?
No, I had absolutely no idea who Kim Fowley was. I learned pretty quick, but no, when I got the script, I didn't know. So right. I found out because I went to to meet with Floria, the director, and she showed me an interview that Kim had done on the Tom Snyder show about punk rock, and I saw him, laid eyes on him for the first time watching that interview.
Now, I'm told that you used that interview as a sort of a touchstone while you were making the film. What was it about that interview that really piqued your interest in the man?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to sum up. I mean, it was just he's a very charismatic person. He's very magnetic. He's very intelligent. He's very funny. He made me laugh a lot. And he was very distinctive looking. There's nobody who really looks quite like him. The way he was dressed and the way his body moved and the way his voice sounded. I mean, it was really, I don't know, it was pretty comprehensive. It wasn't any, like, one particular thing. I was more just overwhelmed by him as a person, I guess.
Right, kind of the whole package. Well, it's interesting because as I was watching the movie, I've seen it a couple of times now, and I was thinking that it must have been, as an actor, a very fine line to ride, to keep him believable, yet sort of give him the kind of flamboyance that the character actually needs. How did you find that balance?
I don't know. I don't really look at things that way. I don't really mind. I'm not really afraid of this whole notion of going over the top. I don't really know what that means.
Right.
I mean, people say, something's larger than life. I'm like, well, what's larger than life? What could possibly be larger than life? I mean, life's pretty large. I mean, I've seen all different kinds of people in my day, and some people talk quietly, and some people talk loudly, and different people do different things. So I don't really... this whole concept of believing someone, like seeing somebody in a movie and believing them, I don't even know what that means. I mean, it's like, believing what? I mean, movies are an illusion, I mean, every movie you've ever seen in your life is a fabrication of something. It's not, there's nothing to believe, it's a story. So...
I'll get that, but he's based on a real person, though. So did you, I guess maybe a different question would be to ask then, did you feel any responsibility to the real Kim Fowley as you were portraying him?
Any responsibility? Well, yeah, I felt a huge amount of responsibility towards Kim. I mean, anytime you're playing a real person. But that responsibility is just... to get as close to your impression of who that person is as possible, which just had to do with, studying him constantly while I was working on the movie, and, hoping that translated into the accurateness of my performance, I mean, nobody can literally become somebody else, like change the molecules in your body. I mean, it's a process, and you get as close as you can. But while you're doing it, you do everything in your power to make it happen. Yeah.
Right. What were your impressions of him after you met him? Because he's at a much different place in his life now than he was when you were portraying him.
My impressions after I met him, I don't know. He's certainly still a very vital person. He still has a lot of energy. He's a real survivor. He's been through a lot. Even just physically, he's been through a lot. I mean, he's very quick to tell people that, he's survived numerous maladies.
He's had polio a couple of times, I think, and
cancer and things. He's a real warrior. He's a tough cookie.
Yeah. Well,
So,
you certainly get that from your portrayal of him. It's interesting that there's kind of a line between this guy who seems very tough and very kind of hard-headed, but also kind of, I don't know what the word would be, but fey kind of at the same time. And it struck me that I guess maybe that was the style of the moment, the glam rock feel, right?
Yeah, that's the glam in a nutshell. I mean, a lot of these guys, you assume, to look at a picture of them that, they seem very girly, but a lot of them were pretty tough. But I think that's, I don't know, I think that's fun. I mean, that contradiction is kind of what makes it appealing.
Well, I certainly was a period of music that really affected me a lot as I was growing up. I was 15 or 16 in the late 70s, 78, 79. And those guys, I mean, people like David Bowie and Mark Bolan and that were very important to my sort of musical growth. Those are the bands that I really was attracted to. Yeah, me too. Yeah. I mean, they weren't my formative years, but I certainly, in retrospect, enjoy their music quite a bit. Yeah.
Richard Crouse.